Alright, what's going on, guys? I was coughing the first try of this intro, but today we're going to be talking about how I personally would change the Liberator to necessarily, I'd say necessarily nerf it. Well, yes, nerf it, basically. So, this is going to be my thoughts on it and how I specifically would go around nerfing the Lib. Because, let's be honest, yes, it is overperforming in most vehicles, so it does need a bit of a nerf, not a giant nerf hammer, but just a small nerf. And I'm going to state some of my reasonings and reasons why, or reasons how or ways that I would nerf the Lib in this video. Now, it's quite a rambly intro, but first off, I'm going to start off with the primary weapon. I'm going to go with the weapons and the Lib itself. So the primary weapon, Tank Buster. Now, I'm not saying any other weapon because other weapons are fine. The Tank Buster is where the problem is, mainly with tanks. Now, my outfit runs tanks a lot, and I constantly have these guys getting mad and getting instigated by Libs. Now, this is indeed a problem, considering you can come up behind an MBT, main battle tank, and destroy it in less than 3 seconds. That is a bit of a problem now. C4, yes, but that's not as universal. Well, it's universal, but it's not as... It's kind of more situational, I guess you could say. Now, the Tank Buster, it's a flying vehicle. It can go wherever it wants to go, so that makes a problem. Now, how I would counteract this is either reduce damage per shot, or... not reduce damage per shot, but increase the MBT's the resistance to the Tank Buster, because this way you don't have to reduce the damage on the Tank Buster. You can just reduce the damage it does to tanks. So from the rear, if you get an entire clip, maxed out clip of Tank Buster into a back of a rear of an MBT, it takes away half its health. Now, what this is doing, it's preventing insta-gibs basically. So they have kind of a fighting chance, not really, but it gives a slight chance. It's not an insta-gib, but it gives it a slight chance, and the gunner of the Liberator, if he does have a gunner, it does make him actually have to aim his shots and not just splash the MBT. So what the Lib pilot is going to have to do is get in behind him, tank bust him, and then if he's not already getting hit by flak, then the MBT is going to be dead. But this is in general situations where flak is around, friendlies are around the MBT. So this is reducing the time, where it's increasing the time it takes to kill that MBT, so it gives flak more time to damage the Lib and make him bug out, or run away, or technically fly away. So that's my thought behind that. Now you're going to ask me about the Tank Buster from the sides and the top and the front, maybe. Now, this is going to take, I'd say, about 1/3 of its health. This gives an extreme, like, better chance of surviving. Because, as I said, general situations, you're going to have friendlies around, you're going to have flak around to hit that Lib. And that also reduces the time even more drastically to kill that Lib. So, really, hitting from the sides and the top is not going to be very viable if you're going up against a tank and a Lib. And it also, once again, increases the survivability of the MBT and should reduce insta-gibbing by a lot. Now, I am back after being interrupted by a big bag of McDonald's. No, I'm not fat, but I probably will soon be. But back to the topic at hand. Now, next thing I'm going to go over is secondary weapons, which will be two. The Shredder and the Dalton, and I'm going to go later into why I did not choose the Zephyr to talk about, but let's jump into the Dalton. Now, the Dalton, I wouldn't say necessarily needs nerf. I don't see it being the problem right now. It truly isn't right now. It's hard to farm infantry with it. Even with maxed out ammo capacity, it's quite difficult to farm infantry with it. So, infantry farming, it stands good at that level. Now, armor farming. Once again, this weapon is meant for armor. It is fine at that point. I don't think it does too much damage. I don't think it does too little damage, but currently I think it is perfectly fine where it is. And aircraft, it is fine where it is. Honestly, I really wish they kept two-shotting libs and not just putting them on fire, because that just is really annoying. But other than that, only really thing I'd say that needs to be changed about the Dalton is maybe reducing the reload speed for as much damage as it does to armor. Maybe reducing the reload speed, but that's about it. And I also really want it to two-shot libs too, now again. So that's all I have to say for the Dalton. Now, the Shredder. A lot of people don't think much of this weapon. They think it's the default weapon, it's the suckiest. Honestly, I think it's the best. For general skill players, for pro skill players, for bad players, it's a really, really effective weapon. Now, as it says in the name, it shreds stuff. It shreds everything in the game. Anything you could think of, it will kill it in seconds. Technically, it's really seconds. And that's where the problem is. It's too universal. It's honestly, I'd say it's a better infantry farmer than the freaking Zephyr. Come on. Now, what does the Shredder do good at? You ask me? Killing infantry, killing tanks, killing air, and guess what? That's everything in the game. So that's where the problem is with the Shredder. What honestly I think needs to happen, they need to specify the role more, even reduce it, even like making it so killing infantry is very difficult with the Shredder. That will help tremendously. And now it needs to be really more specified for a role, because it's way too universal for a weapon in this game. Now you'll say that with the tank buster, but the tank buster is a pilot weapon. It's much more, well, hard to use, I guess you could say. But back to the Shredder. Now, either make this weapon good against armor and air, good against just air, good against just armor. And I really think it needs to not be as effective as it is right now with the infantry. Unless you completely make it just specific to infantry, it does like barely any damage to air or armor. It needs to be just specific to infantry if it's going to be that, though. What I suggest happens to it is, oh my god. Be right back. Okay, I'm back. Back to what I was saying. I truly don't think it should be effective against infantry. It just doesn't need to be. Make it specific to air or armor. I'm going to go find where my mother lives and remove that phone from her hand. And we're back after telling mother to go close her door. Okay. One sec. Okay, now. This is probably going to be a repetition right now, because I've probably repeated the same sentence over and over again. But back to the Shredder. Again. I truly think it should be specific to air or armor. It shouldn't be armor and air. Maybe, I'd say it probably should be specific to air. Increase the damage it does to air. That may sound a little too much, but increase the damage to air. So maybe it might be a weapon you might want to take over the Dalton when going up against air. I know a lot of people still take it over the Dalton, but maybe just increase the damage a little bit more. Get a little bit more players using it for air. But honestly, I 100% don't think it should be good at farming infantry. That is the Zephyr's role. The Zephyr excels at that. It needs to be only the Zephyr for farming infantry. And that's about it for the Shredder. Weapon buffs or anything like that, I'd say it's fine where it's at right now. Rate of fire is fine, mag size is fine. It's just all around a good weapon, but it just needs to be less. Excuse me. It just needs to be. It can't be so universal right now. I think that's the problem with the Shredder currently. Now, I probably repeated a lot of stuff in that, but repeated the same thing over and over again in that past minutes. God, this is 9 minutes. But I guess the next thing it's going to be going over is the lib itself. Now, the only real problem I see with the Liberator itself is composite. Now, people have been complaining about, oh my god, flak does nothing to libs. Trust me, it does. Just believe me, 100%. If you don't fly, it does do a good bit of libs if they don't run flak. Which I know most libs that I run into don't actually run flak armor, or composite armor, sorry. Now, to fix composite, take away the, no, there's no problem with this currently, it's just you can get rid of complainers completely. Remove the resistance you now take with composite. Remove the resistance from what's it called? Tank shots, because I've seen so many people complain about that. Just remove it so they will stop complaining. It's not that much of a buff anyways. And honestly, if they're skilled enough to hit you, I think you should probably die, honestly. So remove that reduced damage entirely, so it gets rid of a couple people complaining, which was a lot of people actually. But now next thing is flak. What's it called? Resistance. It didn't actually change. From what I know, it did not change from the previous Liberator, the unupdated lib. The flak resistance is the exact same, so I don't know why exactly people are asking about that, but it's kind of interesting why people are complaining about that, but it's kind of interesting why they are. Now, Dalton shot resistance. Keep it. Now it may seem like tank shell resistance would go with that, but just make it specifically say Dalton or Zephyr shots. Make it specifically say that. Maybe even Shredder shots. I don't know. Just keep that, because that helps, trust me, a lot. Slow living. Because if I'm going against a good pilot, well, first I'll die by them, so then I'll put on composite, because if it's a good Dalton gunner, they're going to hit me every time. And the amount of time it takes to reload, if I don't one-clip them, the first dive I get on them, I'm going to have to get under their belly, and without composite, they'll two-shot me. So I'm going to be dead in about 5 seconds, I'd say. And 5 seconds is not enough time to get into the clip reloaded with the tank buster, so keep the Dalton resistance, trust me, just please. And that brings us to the last thing, which I see a lot of people complaining about, is high G and the Liberator's maneuverability. I keep burping, excuse me. High G, it's fine, leave it. I'm gonna also this is gonna lead into another thing, which is ESFs. But high G, leave it, it's fine. If you're unskilled enough to not kill a lib, then you should just not be flying an ESF, no offense. If you get like right in front of them and you think they're overpowered because they killed you and you're like right under their belly or right in front of their tank buster, just get off the forums, like go leave the game and stop flying at least. Just take my word on that. Now, high G, it's fine. Turn time, not a big deal, honestly. It's completely fine where it is. It gives, it truly does give the Liberator a fighting chance against ESFs, skilled ESFs, I should state. So that's my thoughts on high G. Now that leads into ESF flying, and there's so many people saying that the Liberator, what's it called? The ESF isn't a direct, what's it called? I can't think of the name. I'll be right back. A direct counter, that's what I was looking for. Now, there's a lot of people that say the ESF isn't a direct counter to the lib, but it is. Trust me, I'm free XP. So living, especially, you're free XP for a good pilot. It's just the truth, man. Even with a good lib crew, a good ESF pilot, a very skilled ESF pilot, you're free XP. There's not much you can do except get an amazing lucky Dalton shot. So that's my thoughts on the direct counter. And people are saying like flak should be a direct counter. It shouldn't. The ESF is. You just aren't skilled enough to fly an ESF. So that's my opinions on the ESF. And one last thing, people are gonna say, but there's not enough good skilled ESF pilots to go kill the Liberators. Oh my god. Let's call for mommy. Guys, come on. You should be smart enough to know that even the best lib pilot in this game, the best gunner in this game, versus 7 average ESF pilots can kill the lib, trust me. Now, and they're gonna say, but we can't get those numbers. Oh my god. Let's call mommy again. Flak. Flak is still a reliable counter to Liberators. It does damage them, trust me. Without flak composite, I get pooped on by a freaking flak from about 1k meters away. And you're saying that I'm overpowered? Come on. But yeah, there's still flak, and maybe 3 SFs with a combination of flak and lock-ons, that Lib's gonna be dead in 2 seconds. So that's about it for this. Well, my thoughts on nerfing the Liberator and or changes I would make. So hope you guys did enjoy this video, and always have a great day.